So this is going to be my fourth video on this topic. The other three will be linked down below in the description section. Videos where I'm responding to Bernie supporters who are pretending that Andrew Yang does not actually support Medicare for All, despite the fact that he's promoting it on his website. He recently did a campaign ad where he's promoting it. Despite all that, the Bernie supporters are saying, well, since he doesn't want to ban private health insurance, that means he's not really for Medicare for All, right? Because that's an honest argument, right? No, that's completely fucking dishonest. Of course you can make the federal health insurance program, Medicare, available for all without banning private health insurance, right? This is a program that was originally for the elderly, but it's been expanding since then. It's now also for certain younger people with disabilities and people with end-stage renal disease. Yang is proposing that we expand it even more so that Medicare is made available for all. So there's nothing wrong with saying that he supports Medicare for all. But Bernie supporter Tim Black of TBTV disagrees. He has made it his mission to try and get Andrew Yang to remove Medicare for all from his website. It's kind of ironic that someone who supposedly supports Medicare for all is trying to get someone else to stop promoting it. Makes me question how much Tim Black actually supports it. Apparently, he thinks the important thing isn't so much the part about making Medicare available for all, but rather banning private health insurance agencies. So what I want to do now is show you guys an interview that Tim Black seems to like. An interview that Yang had with Dana Bash from CNN. Tim Black seems to be of the attitude that this interview somehow exposes Yang as a liar and demonstrates that he doesn't really support Medicare for all. Let's have a look at that interview for ourselves and see if we agree with his analysis of the situation.
With staying power comes scrutiny, like on his health care plan.
You told reporters in New Hampshire last week that you think, quote, outlawing private insurance in a very short period of time is a bit too disruptive, and I would not do it. So how do you support Medicare for all and not outlaw private insurance?
Now, I mean no offense to Dana Bash when I say this, but when she asks stupid questions like this, Tim Black interprets it as her exposing that Andrew Yang doesn't really support Medicare for all, right? But of course the reason he looks at it that way is because he's a Bernie supporter. It doesn't mean that that's what she's actually doing. We have to also pay attention to Yang's responses to her questions.
Well, there's a way to provide Medicare for all that does not prohibit private insurance.
And that is the part that Tim Black ignores. You can make Medicare available for all without banning private health insurance.
And the goal has to be to demonstrate to the American people that this Medicare plan is superior to your current insurance without pulling the rug out from under you and saying that the insurance no longer exists.
Bernie Sanders' own campaign manager said about your stance on this, come on, you either take on corporate greed that rots the system or you don't.
Which is a completely separate issue. Is this about making Medicare available for all? Or is this about fighting bad guys? Bernie's campaign manager seems to be more interested in fighting bad guys than he is in making Medicare available for all.
That you're calling this Medicare for all, but when you ask about the substance, you still want to keep private insurance, which is not Medicare for all. How do you respond?
Notice how Yang laughs right there when she relays this Bernie bro talking point, oh, it's not Medicare for all if you don't ban private health insurance, right? I sometimes laugh when I hear that shit too, because it's fucking ridiculous, right? But, Tim Black, when he hears her say that, he's thinking, ha, yeah, you got him, right? Yeah, you're just fucking exposing his lies.
It's funny because we had an internal debate about this. Like, what does Medicare for all mean? If you look at it, what does it say? Medicare for all, which means that you have a Medicare program that everyone can be enrolled in.
Another great response from Andrew Yang that Tim Black just completely ignores. You know what? I think we need to take a moment to focus on Yang's response. Let's hear him repeat it a few times.
What does Medicare for all mean? If you look at it, what does it say? Medicare for all, which means that you have a Medicare program that everyone can be enrolled in. What does Medicare for All mean? If you look at it, what does it say? Medicare for All, which means that you have a Medicare program that everyone can be enrolled in. You have a Medicare program that everyone can be enrolled in.
Medicare for All is a Medicare program that everyone can be enrolled in.
So you're adopting the label, but not the bill.
That's correct.
And that may be the only thing that Yang said in the interview that Tim Black was actually listening to. Only he's opted to twist the interpretation of it into an admission from Yang that he doesn't actually support Medicare for All, which of course is not what Yang is saying. He's saying that he doesn't support this bill from Bernie Sanders banning private health insurance, right? Yes, that's a Medicare for All bill. Bernie also wrote one up in 2017, but there were other Medicare for All bills written prior to that by Ted Kennedy and John Conyers. Going back to, I think, like 1970 or something, there was a Republican senator by the name of Jacob Javits who was advocating for what he referred to as national health insurance. But a writer at the New York Times described this national health insurance as Medicare for All. Because, of course, the federal health insurance program, Medicare, was already a thing. And as we established, it was originally just for the elderly, but it's something that can totally be expanded to be for everyone. We can have Medicare for All, and we don't even have to ban private health insurance to get it.
Is that a little disingenuous to people looking for that, that flavor of a Democratic candidate, but with, if they don't know the substance of your plan?
No, it's not Yang's fault that Bernie supporters are pretending that Medicare for All is exclusively a bill written by Bernie Sanders. He's the father of the idea. He's America's dad. But of course, when Bernie supporter Tim Black hears Dana Bash say this stuff, he looks at it as though, oh, she's exposing his lies. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Bernie supporters are the ones being disingenuous here.
We're clear about the substance of our plan in various places, and we're going to have a more detailed rollout of the full plan in the days to come.
In conclusion, it seems that Andrew Yang may actually like Medicare for All more than Tim Black does. Tim Black seems to think it's more important that we ban private health insurance. He thinks that's so important that Andrew Yang should just stop promoting Medicare for All if he's not going to ban private health insurance. Tim Black, I don't think you support Medicare for All.
Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang.